Reading Passage 2, you should spend about 20 minutes on questions 14 to 27, which are based on Reading Passage 2 below. Votes for Women. The suffragette movement, which campaigned for votes for women in the early 20th century, is most commonly associated with the Parkhurst family and militant acts of varying degrees of violence. The Museum of London has drawn on its, its archive collection to convey a fresh picture with its exhibition. The Purple, White, and the Green Suffragettes in London, 1906 to 1914. The name is a reference to the color scheme that the Women's Social and Political Union, WSPU, created to which the movement a uniform nationwide image. By doing so, it became one of the first groups to project a corporate identity, and it is in this advanced marketing strategy, along with the other organizational and commercial achievements of the WSPU, to which the exhibition is devoted. From Formed in 1903 by the political campaigner Mrs. Emmeline Pankhurst and her daughters Christabel and Sylvia, the WSPU began an educated campaign to put women's suffrage on the political agenda. New Zealand, Australia, and parts of the United States had already enfranchised women, and growing numbers of their British counterparts wanted the same opportunity. With their slogan, Deeds Not Words, and the introduction of the color scheme, the WSPU soon brought the movement the cohesion and the focus it had previously lacked. Membership grew rapidly as the women deserted the many other less directed groups and joined it. By 1906, the WSPU headquarters, called the Women's Press Shop, had been established in Charing Cross Road, and in spite of limited communications, no radio or television, and minimal use of telephone, the message had spread around the country, with members and branch officers stretching to as far as Scotland. The newspapers produced by the WSPU, first Votes for Women and later the Suffragette, played a vital role in this communication. Both were sold throughout the country and proved an invaluable way of informing members of meetings, marches, fundraising events, and the latest news and views on the movement. Equally importantly, for a rising political group, the newspaper returned a profit. This was partly because advertising space was bought in the paper by large department stores such as Selfridges and jewelers such as Mappin and Webb. These two, together with other like-minded commercial enterprises sympathetic to the cause, had quickly identified a direct way to reach a huge market of women, many with money to spend. The creation of the color scheme provided another money-making opportunity. which the WSPU was quick to exploit. The group began to sell playing cards, board games, Christmas and greeting cards, the countless other goods, all in the purple, white, and the green colors. In 1906, such merchandising of a corporate identity was a new marketing concept. But the paper and merchandising activities along, alone did not provide sufficient funds for the WSPU to meet organization costs. So numerous other fundraising activities combined to fill at the offered coffers of the war chest. The most notable of these was the women's exhibition, which took place in 1909 in a Knightsbridge ice skating rink, and in 10 days raised the equivalent of £250,000 today. The Museum of London's exhibition is largely visual, with a huge number of items on show. Against a quiet background, hum of street sounds. Copies of the suffragette campaign banners and photographs are all on display, together with one of Mrs. Parkhurst's shoes and a number of purple, white, and green trinkets. Photographs depict vivid scenes of a suffragette's life. WSPU members on a self proclaimed monster march wearing their official uniforms of a white frock decorated with purple, white, and green accessories. Women are selling the suffragette at the street corners or chalking up pavements with details of forthcoming meeting. Windows display postcards and the greeting cards displayed by a woman artist for the movement, and the quality of the artwork indicates the wealth of resources the WSPU could call on from its talented members. Visitors can watch a short film made up of old newsreels and the cinema material, which clearly reveals the political mood of the day towards the suffragettes. The program begins with a short film devised by the antis, those opposed to women, having the vote depicting a suffragette as fierce, harridan, bullying her poor abused husband. Original newsreel footage shows the suffragette family wielding Davidson throwing herself under King George V's horse at a famous race. Although the exhibition officially charts the years 1906 to 1914, graphic display boards outlining the bills of enfranchisement of 1918 and 1928, which gave the adult female populace of Britain the vote, show what was achieved. It demonstrates how advanced the suffragettes were in their thinking, in the marketing of their campaign, and in their work as shared and skillful image builders. It also conveys a sense of the energy and ability the suffragettes brought to their fight for freedom and equality, and it illustrates the intelligence employed by women who were at that time deemed by several politicians to have brains too small to know how to vote.